afternoon. We are still within the domain of literature. And you will remember that literature is divided into three: prose, drama, and poetry. Today, our particular emphasis will be on poetry. We're trying to look into the analysis, interpretative generation of meaning, and of course, how we can bring about a particular poem. And remember that in poetry, specifically, we have what we call unseen poem. Unseen poem is a poem that will be given to you in your exam without actually having the account of that poem before. And today, we are going to be given an unseen poem here, and then we are going to read the poem, and we're going invariably trying to interpret the poem. This is the poem. Remember JPEG, just like we have in IGMA, you have to read an unseen poem, and then you have to answer the questions that follow the poem. Now, let's read the poem, and then we interpret the poem. No title given to the poem, right? But let's read, then we have the questions that follow. In your presence, I have rediscovered my name that was hidden so long under the pain of separation. I have rediscovered the eyes no longer filled with fever, and your laughter, like a flame piercing the shadows, has revealed Africa to me beyond the snows of yesterday. 10 years, my love, with days of illusions and abandoned ideas, and sleep restless with alcohol. 10 years of suffering poured on me from the world's breath, suffering the burdens today with a taste of tomorrow, and turns love into a boundless river. In your presence, I have rediscovered the memory of my blood, and the necklace of laughter hung around our days sparkling with ever new joys. Again, I want to believe you've been able to hear me clearly, loud and clear. But for the purpose of clarity, so to bring the proper understanding and greater understanding, of course, of the poem, let me go back and read the poem once again. This is an unseen poem. You see, no title given. Then we're going to answer the question that follow the poem. But the most significant aspect of trying to answer a question on unseen poems, that is to say, you must give the poem a critical reading. And reading, remember, is an act of trying to generate meaning. So we have to read the poem once again, then we'll go back to the question to answer the question in the poem. In your presence, I have rediscovered my name that was hidden so long under the pain of separation. I have rediscovered the eyes no longer filled with fever, and your laughter like a flame piercing the shadows has revealed Africa to me beyond the snows of yesterday. 10 years, my love, with days of illusion and abandoned ideas, and sleep restless with alcohol. 10 years of suffering poured on me from the world's breath, suffering the burdens today with the taste of tomorrow, and turns love into a boundless river. In your presence, I have rediscovered the memory of my blood, and the necklace of laughter hung around our days sparkling with ever new joys. So this is the point for you. Now, you have to go back to the question and see how really we can answer the question of the poem. Then let's look at the question very quickly. The question of the poem, remember, unseen poem. What are the questions of the poem? The first question is, what do you consider to be the subject matter of this poem? The question again, number one question. What do you consider to be the subject matter of this poem? Question number two. What is the tone of the poem? Question number two. What is the tone of the poem? Question number three. Identify 4 figures of speech in the poem. Identify 4 figures of speech in the poem. Question number 4. What indications do we get as to whom the speaker is addressing in the poem? Question number 4 once again. What indications do we get as to whom the speaker is addressing in the poem? Question number 5. What does the speaker concentrate on? Why does the speaker concentrate on the details of his past life? Question number 5 once again. Why does the speaker concentrate on the details of his past life? Question number 6. What is the central device used by the poet? Once again, what is the central device used by the poet? And I handle the question one after the other. But when you look at the poem in totality, you will see to the fact that this poem portrays the experience of Africa. And when you look at Africa, how do we know this is all about Africa? We see here the mention of Africa. This poem, of course, is the celebration, the adorable and viable to the celebration of Africa as a continent. And be that as it may, most significantly, it is understandable and intelligible that a writer from a particular continent draws his inspiration and admiration from the experiences and events unfolding in that particular environment. And when you look at Africa, go back this historical lane, you'll see that Africa encountered different historical events that later in eventuality brought about the well-being and the standardizations of education, philosophy, ways of life of Africa. Certain events, of course, affect African ways of life. Go back the historical lane. So, Africa, as a continent, experienced slavery. Remember, before the advent of European colonial masters, Africa had their own culture, their ways of life, and all that. And that period is called what? Pre-slavery experience of Africa. Do you understand? See, in this period, we see the culture of Africa brought to bear. We had our own system of government, our own philosophical thinking, ways of life, belief system, religious, and all that. Mythological, myth, folklore, basically the kind of literature that subsisted and existed in Africa during this era, pre-slavery era, was what we call orature. That is the kind of literature that brought about with the word of mouth. Now this experience of Africa. Now we saw the emergence or the advent of white colonial masters, and they had their own agenda for coming into the soul of Africa. And what was the agenda? That is capitalism. Economic exploitation of African natural resources. So that in Europe then, remember, they had their own moribund industrial revolution in Europe. So they needed so badly the raw materials from Africa to feed their industries And the only continent to go is Africa continent. We have them in the numbers. So here the poem is talking about the experience of Africa. We had our own culture, but with the emergence of European powers coming to Africa, they distorted and disturbed the well-being, the flow, the smooth flow of African ways of life, brought to bear their own cultural belief and ways of life with a particular desire to impose their will upon Africa, to colonize Africa, and invariably to bring Africa to their own feet as a slave. So this is Africa for you. So now, in your presence, when you read the first line of the poem, because we believe in generational meaning, and remember that literature, we are dealing with language. Language is very important, but we have the wherewithal, the techniques, the strategy, the linguistic tragedy of the interpretation effort on a particular literary giant. And this is exactly what we are going to do to interpret the poem. Now, in your line by line, let us interpret the poem. But when you look at the poem, we are talking about the experience of Africa. We are going to use that yardstick to measure the flow, the content and intent of the poem. Now, let's read the poem line by line and interpret the poem line by line. This poem, first and foremost, consists of how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a poem of 14 lines. All right, we have to cut it right here, so we continue where we stopped later.